Hello, and welcome to a special edition of Sinders Playground, where this will be my first Sinders Unexplained. This is where I look up a case on the internet that's unsolved or spooky or paranormal that intrigues me, and I will talk about it with my co-host here,
Jose.
and we will discuss it and give our own takes and theories about it. So, stay tuned. Hello, and thank you for joining me on my first Unexplained. I am Cinder, of course, and then alongside,
Jose.
and I'll ask you one question before I start. I said I had all my questions to the end, but I will ask you one question before I get into it. It is, have you heard of the case of Jannette DePalma?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's all I wanted. So I just want to know if you had.
how
I just
much-
don't know if you had any recollection of this whatsoever. So you don't. So that's even better. I like to surprise people. When I tell them stories, it's something I never heard before. So, also before I get into it, I want to say this is something my co-host came up with. I am those of you who do know me, love horror. I love the paranormal. I love shit that's strange and unexplained. That just weird. That's weird shit. What you call it. And actually, that's probably a lot of my YouTube viewing habits would be a lot of that shit. Um, if you were to look at my history. So the fact that Jose here said, suggested, I just do a subsection of Cinder's Playground where I talk about unexplained cases that fascinate me. I'm like, okay, I'm on board. I like that idea. So this is the first one. And I mean, I was telling him, I was debating whether or not, maybe we do this like once a month or, maybe also every couple of months or something. But I think me and him have come to the agreement that we are going to do it once a month. So once a month, expect a Sinner's Unexplained case. Now, as I mentioned at the top, these are cases I find on the internet that not are so well known, but yet intrigue me. So that is what this subsection of my podcast is going to be. Sinners Unexplained. Now, got all that out of the way. And also, wait, one more thing. Also, if you like this and you want to see more, let us know. Like I said, messaging us at Instagram. I am Cinder666, and then
Jose CE90.
and then of course we'll remind you again at the end of this. Like I said, if you really like this stuff, then we may do more in the future. Well, more than once a month. This is what I'm saying. All right. Okay. Now, without further ado, are you ready, sir?
Let's go.
Okay. So this is the case of Jannette DePalma. In 1972, in the woods of Springfield, New Jersey, a dog brings a decomposed arm to its owner. All right, that's my first pause.
What?
You have a dog.
Yeah.
So let's say you and your dog were out in the park and you just let him off the leash for a little bit. And then he comes back with a decomposed arm. What would you do?
I'd be, what the hell is this and where did you get this from? That is crazy.
Oh,
That would be insane.
call the police at that point.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I do not want any parts of that. I'm not gonna play Scooby Doo and the Mystery Machine. I'm not trying to figure out anything. I don't even know. I don't even want to know where the rest came from. I just be like, listen, my dog was playing in the park. He brought this to me. I have no idea where this is from. You could take him in if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you that since you do have a dog. I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna ask him that. Okay. No. So obviously, the owner calls the police. The police canvassed the area, but it wasn't until 6 weeks later that they discovered the rest of the body. Um, it was found on a ridge known to the locals as the Devil's Teeth, where allegedly satanic sacrifices take place. So, how did we get here? Let's rewind. On Monday, August 7th, 1972, 16-year-old Jannette DePalma left her home on Cleveland Road, telling her mom she was going to take the train to see a friend. When she didn't show up at her friend's house and didn't come home that evening, her mother called the police the next day. 6 weeks later, after that, um, that's when her remains were found at the Devil's Teeth, according to witnesses at the scene. Because you know how people are when you see a bunch of cop cars. People want to be nosy and see what's going on. So, taking that into account, said she was positioned in a crucified manner with a makeshift tomb surrounding her, surrounded by mutilated animals and even trees that had blood splattered all over them, and carvings of arrows pointing to the spot of the body. The locals began talking about this witches' covenant in the area, or maybe it being possibly a satanic cult. Pause. So, what do you think of like satanic cults and like witches covenants? Do you think they're real? Think it's bullshit, or think people just make believe?
I think there's people that believe in that type of stuff. I would have moved out of town if I knew that there was a fucking witch coven in my town.
Okay.
I would be freaked out. I don't know. I'm not into all that supernatural stuff. I don't want to find out, and I do not want to end up
a sacrifice.
A sacrifice.
Okay. All right. So,
what about you?
I'll give my thoughts at the end.
Okay.
Now, after the confiscation of the body, her autopsy could not find the cause of death. There were no broken bones, no fractures, no bullet wounds, no knife cuts. There were no drugs in her system. The coroner guessed that it was strangulation, but he did find high amounts of lead in her system for some reason. In the early days of the investigation, the police got a tip from an anonymous source that a homeless man living in the area, but after they questioned him, they didn't feel he was their man. 2 weeks later, after her body was discovered, several newspapers began reporting on this, including the Star Ledger and the Daily News. They began running with the idea of Jannette being a victim of a cult sacrifice carried out by Satanists. Another theory is that the local witches' covenant in the nearby Wichita reservation had committed the sacrifice. All this coverage was making the locals scared. Plus, when you include the fact that this town was still recovering from the John List murders that happened 10 months earlier. Pause. Have you heard of John List?
No.
Oh, man. Another Jersey guy. You know what? I'm going to put that on the list. I want to do him. John List on the list. John List on the list. So you never heard the John List story?
Nah, I never heard of John List.
Okay.
Sounds like a bootleg version of John Wick. So they were just recovering from a different mass murder or murderer, and this shit happens.
Yep.
Oh, that's not good.
Because it was a small community. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, I don't think Springfield is that big.
no, it's not. Sorry, folks. I just wanted to do this while it's fresh in my head, because sometimes I forget things. Let me go back out.
So they were recovering from the John List murders, and then
Yeah, that happened 10 months earlier. So basically, like a year before, this shit happened. So with no more leads, the Springfield PD closed the case. Now, all right, before I go on, what do you call it? So, what do you think about that? Like,
that's weird.
The way she was found, the way they couldn't find the cause of death, and things surrounding her.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why they would want to close the case. I mean, I guess if it goes cold, they would have to, but like, that's just so weird for it to just be left.
Understood. Like, it seems to me like the police were just like, oh, all right, well, nothing else. We can't find anything, so we're just gonna close it. That's what it seems like to
weird.
me. So, all right, let's fast forward to 1999, where the magazine Weird New Jersey began to report on this case after receiving several anonymous letters about the case. Editor-in-chief of the magazine at the time, Matt Moran, began investigating the case for himself and mainly wrote about the strange and weird aspects of the case. In his research, he found out that Jannette's case file was missing. When called out on this, the Springfield PD claims the file was destroyed due to Hurricane Floyd that happened in 1999. Some conspiracy theorists feel that the file is just being hidden away by the Springfield PD. Moran, who was so passionate about this, teamed up with one of his freelancers to write a book called Death on the Devil's Teeth. Throughout the course of their research, the two would discover several instances of possible cover-up by the Springfield PD, and many even, and also maybe even include government officials as well. Okay, take another fast forward to 2021. The Daily News mentioned the organization Justice for Jannette DePalma in an article remembering the event and keeping her memory alive for even after all these years. So, and if I may, not to sound like a news anchor or anything, but if you have any information about Jannette's case, contact the Justice for Jannette DePalma website, not the Springfield PD, because I feel like they're hiding something. This is just my personal opinion. So that is the case of Jannette Palma all the way up until current day. So, what do you think about this as a whole?
I think that's crazy, but it also sounds believable that something may have happened, and in order to cover it up, they just try to hide information and close the case right away.
So, okay, running on that. So, why do you think the police or even the local government, the local government would want this to be hush hush?
Well, it could have been that maybe she was seeing an officer, maybe she saw something that she shouldn't have seen, and they were trying to cover it up.
Those are good points and reasons. My gut feeling is that not her, but the PD's police force are just covering this up because they don't want a lot of attention on their town per se. Because I feel like maybe there are witches covenants or a satanic cult there, and they didn't want like a flock of news vans covering in there, and everything like that.
But that would also scare the coven away.
The what?
That would scare the coven away because I don't think that they would want
news vans there and shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, so.
Who knows?
Okay, so after hearing what I researched, and ask you what your thoughts about the case, man. So, what are your feelings about? Because sorry, this is the next question I wanted to have. So, did you even know we had cults and an Indian reservation here in New Jersey?
No, I didn't.
No.
Where'd
good. Neither did I. I didn't think we had Indian reservations here, but apparently we do. You know, have you ever been?
Where are they? No.
Have you ever been to Springfield, New
I've
Jersey?
probably been there like maybe once or twice.
I mean, I've heard it. I never heard of. I mean, I have heard of it, but I've never been there. You know, I know there's a city in New Jersey called Springfield.
I think where we used to work, the district office is in
Springfield.
Oh,
interesting.
So I've been there like a handful of times actually.
Oh, okay. What'd you call it? Didn't notice anything weird.
No. I mean, I don't like to explore places that I don't know. So I usually just go where I have to go and then get out. I'm not used to exploring unfamiliar lands.
Okay. So, another question is: so, do you think we'll ever find who did this to her?
No, I mean, I feel like if maybe technology was a little bit more up to date at that time, maybe. Mm-hmm. But back then, like
72,
yeah, everything was on paper.
Yeah,
and even if they updated things to go on a hard disk and stuff like that, if they really wanted to hide it or they really wanted to like brush it off or close the case, they weren't going to save it into a hard disk or anything like that.
True. I mean,
and they already have like an alibi by saying it was destroyed by the flood, so it's like that's pretty much it. It's
dead.
Yeah, you can't find any unless somebody confesses.
Which well, I mean, somebody might do it on their deathbed. Somebody might do
it. Yeah,
you know,
somebody. That's the only way I can see something like that.
You know,
and then even then, like, who knows? Like, if they're even telling the truth.
True. I mean, I'll be honest. I know there's deep woods in New Jersey that have satanic people there. You know,
I heard of some of them
that do the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? Production, I guess, of doing a sacrifice and everything, but I don't think they've gone as far as do a human. I can see animals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but to do a human, I mean, you have to be really devoted to your cause.
and not only that, but like I feel like, why would you just do one and stop?
True.
Like if it was like that type of thing, it's a ritual, and I think you would do at least
once a year,
or once every 5 years, or once every 10 years. At least that's how I feel. I don't know.
No, you bring up a good point. So look at this. So by that logic, though, I mean, so it wouldn't be satanic sacrifice then?
Nah, I think it's a cover up. I think that. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong.
I mean, okay. All right, so I'm gonna just share my final thoughts real quick. I do. Well, obviously she was murdered. That's established. But the fact that the coroner can determine the cause of death, he just guessed strangulation. Because like I said, no bones, no gunshot wounds, no knife wounds. So that was his best guess. Again, at the time, I would feel like if a doctor today examined her back then, he would be more. He would have a better guess, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I mean, and another thing that doesn't make sense is if your dog found a piece of body part, how did it take so long for someone to find it?
Well, I mean, the devil's teeth. That's a place where not a lot of people go because of the local legends. So I would think a lot of people wouldn't go there. Like I said.
No, I'm talking about the police. Like, if the police find a piece of a body part, like.
Well, like I said, if they did canvas there, but I said it took 6 weeks. That's ridiculous, man.
I don't know how big it is, too. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking of like what I think of it would look like in my head, but at the same time, too, yeah, you're right. Maybe it was a huge area.
Yeah, woods. Yeah. What do you call it? I mean, I have heard of dark, cursed places in New Jersey. You know, like I said, not just this place, but like I've heard of other places too. You know, where horrible things supposedly happen. You know, and everything. And like I said, I mean, I do believe there is an element of evil at play here. Yes, I won't go as far as to say Satanists, you know, but maybe, like I said, some witches covenant, you know, maybe doing a sacrifice, you know, to their gods or whatever, to their gods or whatever, you know. But again, like I said, you bring up the point, you know, if it's a sacrifice, it would happen more than once, you know, unless they got better at hiding their evidence. But then why was this girl, you know, in plain sight with all this paraphernalia around her for everybody to see? You know, um, I I don't know. It's one of those things. That's why it's called the unexplained. Because, like I said, I don't have a right or wrong answer, or I know correct. All I can do is guess and give my theories and thoughts on it. And like I said, I feel like maybe, especially now after talking to you, I feel maybe that, like, yeah, maybe that whole like scene was dressed up, like propped up to look like that, you know. And maybe she was just flat out killed, or maybe killed by somebody on the police force, and they made it look like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you know, because maybe she told her mother she was going to first, or maybe she was meet an older man that's a police officer, and then maybe she didn't know what she was getting into, resisted. He got physical. Shit happened, you know, and it's like, oh well, let's see, I got to do something about this.
Yeah.
You know. But then again, that's just my thought.
Yeah.
That's just my
No.
thought. Like I said, it's just the theory I have. That's the theory I'm running with. You know. What you call it. So, what do you think of, like I said, Sinders Unexplained, the first episode?
It was nice. I mean, obviously not nice for people involved, but it was a good story. I never heard of it
Okay.
ever in my life.
So was I right that this had multiple things that, you know, you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
like,
yeah. You can't pinpoint it on one thing, and you could let your mind go free with like the amount of different things that it could have actually been
mhm, mhm.
or not been.
Oh, I did forget to mention. A very big part of me picking this story is because, if you don't know, me and my co-host R live in New Jersey, so that's one reason why I chose this story, because New Jersey, to be honest, New Jersey's pretty boring. We really don't have anything good happening. Well, anything on a national level, I guess. National level. But the fact that the New York Times wrote about this story and everything, that, and of course, Weird New Jersey is just a magazine that just like has a cult like status, you know, for us New Jerseyans, you know. But like I said, if you want to read more about this, there are tons of YouTube videos, and you could just, and she has her own Wikipedia page as well, so you can find more information about it here. I just giving you a brief summary and, like I said, my thoughts on it. I think I'm gonna end it here, sir. I thought this went well.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it was well. So like I said in the beginning, like I said, if you would like to hear more unstrange, strange, unusual, unexplained cases, let me know. Like I said, you can follow me or send me a message on Instagram at Sinders666. I really post about my podcast, Sinders Playground, you know, and cool shit I find on the internet and stuff like that. And throw it over to this guy.
And you can follow me on Instagram, JoseCE90. And yeah, just slide in the DMs. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you're interested in this. We're thinking once a month. If you guys really, really like it, maybe we'll up it. So that's on you guys.
So yeah, let us know. What you got? I mean, I'm gonna continue to do this anyway. But like I said, if you guys really like it, like I said, I'll do more of it. But we're gonna see how this does, and we'll just take it from there. So thank you for listening, and if you liked what we did today, hit that 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to this to. greatly appreciate the support, and follow us on whatever platform you're listening this on. So, till next time, I'm Cinder.
And I'm Jose.
And we will talk to you guys next time.
Peace out.